Hello everybody, and welcome to another day of Steel Division League. And we're going really deep into the season, guys. We arrived at the first semifinal, Karma versus Grayfox. A match that we already had once this season, in the group stage. And when we remember, Karma just made it barely through to group stage, as his loss, the only loss he had this season so far, was against Grayfox, which left him at 5 points, with Sean and JKV close on his heels. But he made it into the playoffs, and he made it into the semifinals by beating Mr. Neff 2-0. So Grayfox is for sure the favorite, but Karma came in as an underdog last season already and made it to the finals. So maybe he can do it again this season. Let's see, guys, let's see. And let's jump straight into the game, as we have Karma and Grayfox with two pretty good divisions here. On the left side, in blue, Grayfox with the 3rd Canadian. On Slutsk, and on the right side, in red, with the 3rd Guards Mechanized. Karma. So it's Sherman on Sherman action, but Grayfox has the better Shermans. He has the Fireflies. These are not the best Shermans anymore, as they don't have their 12 hit points anymore, and they have 1 less Browning. But they're still pretty good tanks. So Sherman on Sherman action will be the main theme of this game, together with a lot of cheap infantry of both sides. Partisanis on one side, rifles on the other. It will be interesting. Arm 38s. The Partisani cheap mortar. Will be interesting to see it on this map, because there's a lot of open terrain, so it's not too easy to use these effectively on 800 meter range. We will have to see how that goes. But let's see what you say. In this semifinal, do you think Karma, after his good win against Neff, is again the favorite? Or do you say Grayfox, after his performance in the group stage, for sure is the favorite in this one? Let's see what you say, Karma or Grayfox. I think one thing that Karma really does different compared to his group stage performance is no Panthers seen so far in the playoffs. So really interesting. So yeah, so Daniel sent me the replay directly via Discord, and I will pass that game. Karma versus Grayfox is on. 152mm is on the way. 152mm off map start. Interesting start. A lot of volatility in this one. If he can get a good off-map on, that could break Grayfox back for sure. Let's see if Grayfox allows that to happen. With MCHAs and Valentines on the way for Karma. Valentines for sure are strong now. And 3rd Canadian doesn't have any super strong tanks. Like no heavy tanks there, no Tigers, no IS-2s, no Jumbos, not even Crocodiles or anything like that. So the Valentines and Shermans of Karma should be enough to deal with the tanks of Grayfox if he gets them in a good position. Obviously Firefly is still the biggest boy on the field, and on long range engagements you don't want to fight that one. But the Valentines are pretty good against normal Shermans thanks to their high fire rate. Ooh, this is interesting. The Arm 38 goes up here. Firefly engages the M42. Second Firefly joins in. Firefly only having 1 Browning doesn't deal too effectively with MGs like this, but the M42 goes down anyways. Arm 38 tries to deal HE damage here to the Firefly. In the north, the first off-map is coming in. In the south, no action so far. And the off-map comes in onto the rifle Piats and rifle leaders of Mr. Grayfox. And Karma is the favorite, even with 3rd Guards Mechanized, even though he lost the previous game that these two guys played. Interesting, interesting, interesting. But obviously, yeah, he's played a really strong last season in the playoffs. Wasn't too strong there in the group stage either. But he really seems to step it up once he gets to the playoffs. Rifle leaders under fire by the off-map. Stack on the AA is really strong. I would really favor 3rd Canadian here though. Still, like, I think 3rd Guards Mechanized is a good division, and in this matchup it doesn't have to deal with its biggest issue, that being it struggles against heavy tanks. But I still think 3rd Canadian is overall the cleaner division, and we have seen Grayfox a couple of times with this division by now, so it's not like he can't play this division and only picked it because it was open. He is a veteran of the 3rd Canadian. Not quite as good with it as Gonzo is, I think, but still a good player when it comes to this. I'm really surprised to not see it banned. I would like to know what the bans were on both sides here in this game. That's the M42. Starts to fire on the Sherman once more. Sherman starts to retaliate. And we have a Firefly. A Spitfire, I mean. Trying to hit the... Both have fire in the name. Hitting the Sis-2. We have Fireflies obviously as well. But the Firefly over here goes down in the duel against a normal Emcha. And that is surprising to say the least. Losing on full range against the Emcha. Was there a side shot coming from over here? I don't think so. I don't think that shot... Yeah, that's an odd thing to happen. 100mm of frontal armor getting penetrated by a 90mm penetration gun on that range is really unlucky for Grayfox. Loses him the 1 flag, gives Karma the 1311, and Karma puts the pressure on in the north. A lot of AT gun. The Valentines are absolutely dangerous for the Shermans. Firefly though can deal with normal Shermans really well as well, so the Karma has to be careful with his ones as well on his end. Brings in some Su-85s, and they can deal with Fireflies. One gets penetrated here though, and they obviously have the lower fire rate, so Firefly is in an advantage there. Also have less frontal armor than the Firefly. Firefly gets the first Su-85, gets penetrated by the second one here, I think. Doesn't take too much damage though, but goes down with the next hit. So Firefly down, and Karma puts a lot of pressure on the north. And if he gets a another off-map in here, I think he has 1 remaining. 2 are already out here. If he gets another nice off-map in there, that could really kill the north for Grayfox. Humber coming up, Rifle Piats sitting around. Sherman and Su-85 pushing in. Sherman off Karma gets penetrated here as it showed side armor, so it has to be really careful. This Sherman DD should win this with 3-star veterancy versus 1-star veterancy. Gets the kill, but gets penetrated by the M42 in retaliation. Tries to kill that one now, but gets killed off. So Sherman for a Sherman trade, which is really good for Karma right now because he has way more armor left in the north. Sherman DDs coming in the center. More Valentines floating in for Karma. But Valentines take forever to get to the front line, so these don't become relevant for the next 2 to 3 minutes till they start to arrive on the front line. Humber Mark III is a good way to get this hill. I would have liked this Sherman DD in the north more than over here, I think. I like this Sherman DD coming in from another angle. Then I would have liked the second one in the north. Oh no, loses another Sherman DD. So there's no Shermans left in the north. So this flag will most likely fall. Question is, can Grayfox hold this area? At the same time, he is pushing in the town. Karma really under-defended this area, but Grayfox is not punishing him for it. Grayfox has way more invested down here. A reason why Karma has the numerical advantage in the north and can trade out so well there. Whilst Grayfox doesn't do much here at all. There's not even AT guns here for Karma, so this area really... It was a big gamble by Karma, but it looks like it starts to pay off. Because you really could have lost the whole south in the same time if Grayfox would have been a bit better in math, would have counted the numbers of units in the north and would have been like, oh yeah, no, you can't have anything in the south. But Grayfox got pressured hard in the north, goes up to 1311 nonetheless. But the pressure in the north is immense. He has to try to hold on here, and it will not be an easy task to do so. Kills the Valentine over here though, will kill the Su-85 most likely as well, as he attacks it from 2 angles. This Sherman will get side shots on it, if it hits. Spitfire coming in with extra bombs as well. Gets the kill there. Both Shermans still alive. Ooh, but this Sherman has to be real careful with the Gallias on the edge. Good idea there from Karma, trying to catch the Sherman with AT grenades. Grayfox has to be really careful. Shermans in the south now got the Humber. Finally armor arrives for Karma in the south. And now he even has the advantage when it comes to armored units in the south. Though there is 2 6-pounders that can defend the south pretty well, I would say, for Grayfox. 6-pounder plus Sherman should deal with this Sherman at least. But Shermans are tanky beasts, so sometimes 6-pounders just bounce for forever. And the Valentine in the back obviously is also dangerous for the Sherman DD of Grayfox, who still struggles to hold on in the north. Grayfox obviously with the late game income against a 3rd Guards mechanized on Vanguard, which is the standard income for 3rd Guards Vanguard. It's not the deepest deck of all time, and it is in a similar situation like 9th Cavalry, that it has a really affordable combined arms, but the combined arms doesn't really get better the longer the game goes on. Like, you get your combined arms from the get-go, like your ARM-38s, your M42s, your Valentines, your Shermans, and then all your cheap infantry, but you don't have the next level up. Like, there's no level up to that. There is no Firefly that you get. There is no 25-pounders that you get, that you can level up your 17-pounders that you can level up your combined arms with as 3rd Canadians. So you can't really play the late game too well there. You have to keep the enemy low in numbers and hope that his combined arms struggles at some point, so that your combined arms, which always beats army that lacks in some regard, wins the game. Like, if the enemy runs out of AT, you just push your Shermans forward and run him over with that. If he runs out of infantry, you just crush him because he doesn't hold the front line anymore and all of that. So a lot of ways there for Karma to punish him in the early game, but if the game goes long, Grayfox is obviously favored. But Karma gets to the 59 now, gets the flag back here and puts a lot of pressure on the south. As we're approaching B phase, the last couple of seconds of A phase ticking down. And yes, having the forest up here is always really good for the red side. It's so hard to get back in there. And Grayfox will need a lot of resources to try to get there. I think the easiest flag for him to get at the moment is the hill up here. At the same time, he will try to get this IL-4. Spitfire though has to defend itself now against the T-39 Cobra. And the Cobra gets perfectly behind the Spitfire. Gets the shutdown. Brutal kill there. Spitfire down. IL-4 gets out. Really good air trade there for Karma. And the situation right now looks pretty solid for him. As he starts to beat the south as well, after beating the north, this might be a quick game. Really good pressure from the get-go. Grayfox not pushing back in the south, getting overrun in the north. And yeah, the cheap combined arms of 3rd Guards Tank Corps really doing its job well here. Valentine's over here, engaging onto rifles. Sis 2 engaging onto Sherman. And another off-map coming in. More Shermans coming in for Grayfox. Sherman 3 coming in. Well, they never announce normal balance patches, guys. For all you guys talking about that right now in the chat. Normal balance patches are never announced by Eugen in advance. Only DLC drops are announced in advance, so you never know. There might be a balance patch next week. There might be a balance patch next week. Obviously, you can't expect though that they will release Ligurian, not Ligurian Coast, Rimini, Battle of Rimini anytime soon. Rifle Piats sitting around over here. Stack on the A, pushing forward. Sherman's moving around. If you're looking for multiplayer, I think the best DLCs are the Western Front DLCs. If you're fine with that, like if you want to play Western Front divisions, or I guess when it comes to multiplayer divisions, then also the latest, the Romanian DLC, brings a lot of nice divisions in as well for both sides. Like 2 really good divisions for the Axis, 1 really good division and 2 really interesting divisions for the Soviets. MCHA is pushing forward over here in the south. And Kama, I think, has this game now in his back pocket. 17-7 really put Grayfox on the back foot. Obviously in B phase now, Grayfox has the same income, but yeah, he will barely get to C phase if it stays at this tick rate, and he has to get some really good trades with his 4 Shermans here basically in the south right now. And that will be hard. The Valentine in the south, back here will help out. There's SU-85s already on the way. And more Valentines pushing over the hill, and they will flank this whole force, and that will make it really, really hard for these Shermans. Need some lucky shots now, and even with lucky shots, it might not be enough. It might not be enough. Sherman over here fighting against the SIS-2, obviously also a really dangerous fight. 16-8 for Kama continues. £17-pounder coming in. Sherman coming in. Really good play, really well played. Like, I think, really, if you go for the long run, I don't think 3rd Guards Mechanized stands a chance against 3rd Canadian. And so playing Vanguard versus Balanced, I think, is one of the few hopes that 3rd Guards Tanko has. And really good execution in that regard by Kama. Losing his AA here now, but he won the air fight. He kills another Sherman. Shermans really fall in droves, and yeah, 3rd Guards Mechanized has enough tools to deal with Shermans. It really has no tools to deal with anything that has more armor than that efficiently, like SU-85s and SIS-2s are not efficient in that. But with Shermans they deal really well, so really good counterpick there. I think both in income and division, good combination there to deal with the 3rd Canadian. Showing us that 3rd Canadian isn't the unbeatable power it was for so long. It's still a strong division though. Like, don't let you fool you. Just because the division loses 1 game here doesn't mean it's bad by any means. Grayfox also got outplayed there by Kama, having really next to nothing in the south, putting all his forces in the north, whilst Grayfox didn't use his investment in the south at all for the first 10 minutes, not taking any flags there. He could have stopped the 13-11 tick there for a long time, would have had quite a couple more points still remaining, could have gotten a couple of trades more there, could have taken a bit of pressure from the north by forcing Kama to invest into the south if he didn't want to lose it completely. Like, it was a similar situation to Jogu's forces, not quite as insane like what we saw in Jogu versus Adler, where there was this force on the hill that didn't do much all game long, but it was a similar situation here where Grayfox had a huge superiority in one area of the map and didn't use it, whilst the huge superiority of Kama won the fight here. And now Kama is in the driving seat. Like, trying to get him out of here by now is next to impossible. The amount of armored forces on the field for Kama shouldn't be stoppable, at least not in time, for Grayfox. He can try, and he will, but it is not an easy target by any means. And it's even getting close to an 18-6 here, before Grayfox gets any meaningful income advantage in C phase. This game will most likely be over. Really strong push by Kama. Rifle getting killed over here. Rifles pushing in over here against the Guardias. Sherman engaging onto the Amcha. 17 pounder. Continuing fire. And the 17-7 comes in. The Valentines for sure are a really good unit now for 3rd Guards Mechanized. I still think really though, it is too easy to counter it with heavier equipment. Because the Shermans, like there's really no way of dealing efficiently with anything that is like a Tiger, a Panther, an IS-2. You don't have the air forces, you don't have the AT guns that other divisions get for it. Like, sure, a lot of divisions can't compete with those on a tank basis. And, like, not too many Elephants and ISU 122s and so on out there. But a lot of divisions have, like, cluster bombers or PaK-43s or something like that. 3rd Guards Mechanized doesn't have that. So I don't think it's quite as high level. Like, again, it plays a lot, really good against a lot of divisions, like basically every division that doesn't have heavy armor, but it plays pretty poorly against most of the heavy armored divisions, like any one of them that is somewhat competitive. So I don't think it's quite a S tier. I can see it in A tier at the moment, but I don't think it's quite S tier, just because it has a obvious weakness that you can exploit. But other Sherman divisions, and like I think, for example, that even something like 9th Cavalry at the moment is better, which is a similar division, but it has a bit better anti-tank tools. 9th Cavalry has a couple of anti-tank tools that help it out, like the like the artillery gun that can be used as AT gun, or like an AT rocket plane that is not the best AT rocket plane, but it's still an AT rocket plane. All of that really helps it out of dealing with these. But Grayfox didn't play in heavy armored division, so 3rd Guards Mechanized was a really good pick here. In Sherman versus Sherman battles, the Valentines are absolutely helpful. Can turn a lot of battles there. And yeah, Kama just played his cards absolutely right. Looks like he is really in form again compared to what we saw in some of his playoff games. Crew phase games. So, wins game number 1 decisively in the end. Grayfox just getting pressured from the get-go. Kama not letting him go anywhere. And winning after 90 minutes and 36 seconds in game number 1. We'll be back with game number 2 in 4 minutes, as always. so here we return. Here we go. And let's first have a look into what this season so far looked like when it came to bans. Because, as you can see, third Canadians usually gets banned. So that was why it was really interesting in the last game. It's the second most banned division behind 6th Airborne, followed by 3rd Guards Tank Corps. 3rd Guards Mechanized has carried a couple of bans as well, but not nearly as many as 3rd Canadian usually has. And 5th Cavalry Motorizata being the most banned Axis division, being followed by 21st and 16th, with quite a lot of bans on Hermann Göring as well, up here. 2nd Indian Head, 97th, and so on, also getting banned. 28th Jaeger, a lot of bans there as well. And then, let's go over here to talk about how you can support this tournament and the prize pool of it. And how you can do that even without paying anything. By just using the code German here. You can get to this page, to the Matcherino page, using the code !Matcherino in chat. And then you can add 50 cents to the prize pool by using the code Sherman here. And help the players to earn a bit more money by playing awesome games for us. By giving us such good entertainment. Other ways of doing adding free money is by clicking on the links over here. Just visiting some web pages adds a couple of cents to the prize pool as well. And obviously, if everyone in the chat would do so, that would boost the prize pool by quite a couple of dollars. And yeah, obviously you can also help by buying stuff through the marketplace, or if you want to do so, contributing directly, which would obviously be absolutely appreciated. And yeah, that's it for the sellout part of the stream again. Let's go back into the game in a second. Let me get the panel right. Okay, here we go. Grayfox versus Karma. Game number 2. Karma is in the 1-0 lead in this best of 3, so he is on match point. And this time we have another OP division in the hands of Grayfox. Another division that usually gets banned. Didn't got banned this time. Grayfox playing 3rd Guards Tank Corps. And on the left side, Karma, 5th Canadian. 3rd Guards Tank Corps, leaving that division open was what cost him the league last season. Cost him the titles, I think, in the final game against Gonzo. Letting Gonzo play 3rd Guards Tank Corps was a critical error there on Karma's side. So, interesting to see him leaving it open once more in this game. Let's see if it will cost him this game, or maybe even the series this time once more. Or if he can beat it with 5th Panzer, which is a division that is decent, but isn't really exciting at all. Like, you don't see 5th Panzer and think, oh yeah, that's a counter to 3rd Guards Tank Corps, or like that's a good division overall. That never comes up when you discuss the best divisions out there. So it's really interesting to see Karma picking that one. And it's also interesting to see Grayfox playing Vanguard this time against Karma's balance. So it's all about, can Grayfox push through, or can Karma hold on? It's really interesting to see. Yeah, I would like to know what the players are banning, but sadly both of them are offline, and I couldn't reach out to them for the picks. If yeah, maybe they're in the chat, maybe Grayfox is in chat. If Grayfox is in chat, he could obviously let us know, but I don't think he's online right now. Try to reach them over Discord. But yeah, really interesting to see another 3rd Guards Tank Corps here, out here. And we have an Axis versus Allies, so that's nice as well. No Allied versus Allied mirror match. I mean, we already had Axis versus Axis mirror matches as well in the playoffs so far. So it's not like Allies are the all omnipresent forces. But having an Axis versus Allies is a nice matchup. But I hope will be a close game as well, because I fear that 3rd Guards Mechanized, the 3rd Guards Tank Corps is just too strong in this matchup. I haven't seen 5th Panzer for a long time though, so I'm not too sure what it can do in this matchup. Like, I knew it was a good... Like, I played it a lot when the game launched, but that was because you could abuse its strafing planes so much and kill the enemy with that. Now, that isn't the case anymore. I'm not quite sure what you're gonna do with this deck. Like, there's so many better Axis Armored divisions out there, I think. Even if you want to play Axis Armored. So I'm not quite sure why Karma picked that one. Because I don't think the other ones are all banned. Like, what is the thing that 5th Panzer offers that other Panzer divisions don't offer? I'm not quite getting it. He obviously already starts with a Tiger, so that's interesting. There's no heavy armor in the south for Grayfox, no IS-2 or anything. He will put a lot of pressure on the north with 2 BA-10s and 3 Shermans. And there's no tanks in the north, only 1 Pak-40 for Karma, so it will be interesting if he can hold on there. Or what will happen. Yeah, if you want to have a 59 on this map, that's true. Like, either you have to overrun the whole south completely, or you have to wrap some flags in the center. But with an IS-2 you could absolutely do so. Like, putting an IS-2 up here would make the situation quite hard for Karma, I think. So, I think Grayfox has the potential of obviously absolutely crapping a 59 on this map. Let's see if you can get there. Obviously 59 is essential if you want to win a game as Vanguard, because otherwise you leave your opponent too much time to come back into the game in C-phase with balanced. So, yes, let's give you guys the vote again. Who do you see favored in this game? Who do you think will win? Grayfox or Karma? Will Karma go to the finals a second season in a row, get another chance to winning himself the title? Or will be Grayfox, the up-and-comer from Division 2, winner of Division 2 last season, do the job this time and go to the playoffs, to the finals, to either face Gonzo, Wesley, or Sehander. And the IS-2 comes in the center, and yeah, I think that really gives you the potential to grab these 2 flags here, and also put some pressure on here. Martyr 3 is a dangerous tank now. Martyrs, just like Valentine's, got a hit point boost from 8 to 10, which nearly doubled its effectiveness when it comes to tank fights, because most tanks deal 8 damage with their AP round. So before they one-shotted Martyrs, now they need 2 penetrations against the Martyr, and the Martyr needs 2 penetration against most of them as well. And with the Martyr most of the time shooting first, you win the most of the engagements when the Martyr has chances of penetration. Obviously, any hit against the Martyr is usually penetration as well, because its frontal armor is abysmal, and it is it can be killed by things like BA-10s and so on, so it isn't trading really well down, but it's trading really well up against all the medium tanks, and for its price of only 50 points, it does really well in dealing with enemy armor. Obviously, it's not too good in infantry engagement, it doesn't have any MGs or anything like that, so it's really only anti-armor that you want to do with this thing, but in that role, it absolutely excels now, and that's just nice. That was a really nice change, I think, through the overall gameplay. Having tank hunters, tank destroyers actually do their job of destroying tanks. Panzerschreck over here gets a Sherman. So 1 Sherman, 1 BA-10 already down here for Grayfox, and the Panzer IV over here I think has good chances of dealing with this Emcha as well. Though the Emcha gets the first penetration. Panzer IV follows it up with another penetration on its own though. Emcha misses and the Panzer IV gets another penetration. The Panzerschreck gets a second kill, and this is devastating for Grayfox, losing both all Shermans in the north, 2 Shermans to the same Panzerschreck unit. And people say Panzerschrecks are useless by now. No guys, you just have to use them right. This is how you use Panzerschrecks. Don't keep them on the edge of the forest. Pop them out when you see something popping up, and then just get the kill that way. And the push of Grayfox in the north is basically halted. He can't push onto this flag anymore. He is in this forest, so he got himself one flag, but he can't go any deeper right now. 61 in favor of Grayfox. Yeah, his division seems to be the better one. And if he can put the pressure in the center, he is up to 13-11. But yes, the northern play here with the Panzer tracks, amazing by Karma. A bit sloppy by Grayfox, like losing the first Sherman there to a Panzer track, absolutely fine. Losing the second one, quite a bit sloppy. Though, he kills the Panzer IV and the Marder with an Emcha and the Cis-3. The Cis-3 went down, but still a fair trade there in that regard. And more Shermans coming up, so maybe he can put the pressure up once more. This time in the south, he's only has light forces, with Kama having quite a bit more in the south, but can't really push in just yet. So he has the Tiger here. So if he can get a bit more infantry in the south, I could see him maybe overrunning the south of Grayfox, and I think he has to do that in some point of the game, because the pressure on him in the north and the middle section is pretty high. So I think Grayfox, if Kama doesn't capture any flags in the south, Grayfox will go up to 59 at one point in this game by capturing either these two flags or this center flag and the flag up here. So I think Kama has to attack at some point in the south, but it isn't the time just yet. He still has some time, or he can do that, what he's doing right now. Put some forces from the south to the north. Tiger getting repositioned into the north. Another option. Instead of putting more pressure on the south because you have superior forces, bring up your inferior forces to even numbers in the north by repositioning units on the battlefield. Something that you don't see too often. Like, tanks forces switching flanks, something that is a bit underused most of the time, but that's why we are in Division 1, that's why we are here with the best of the best. Ognomachiki engaging Ersatztruppen. Tango Seniki and Ognomachiki sitting back here in the forest. 3 Emchas on the push. And at the moment there is not much against them. MG42 now gets fired upon. The Emchas I think could even move a bit further forward and just get into MG range there. Then they would deal even more damage. Second IS-2 is coming up for Grayfox in the north. So he really wants the north. No, it was a Panzer track. He killed them with a Panzer track, Chabo. Emcha pushing forward as well. Guy P over here engaging the SDKFZ. Dagger E coming in. Well, you can use Panzerfaust just as well as Panzer Shreks, and people also say Panzer Shreks are useless by now in the forum posts. And I mean, yeah, you can use Panzerfaust just like this. I mean, obviously Panzerfaust has less range, so it's a bit harder to do so, to get in range, but that's obviously, you also pay way less for them. So yeah, you might as well. Like, yeah, Panzerfaust has the issue of the aligning bug or whatever, that they need a bit too long to target. But still. RD spamming, it was never a thing in 1v1. IS-2 over here engaging onto Pak 40. The only thing you see is off maps and sometimes some mortars, or if both sides play balanced, then 1 or 2 artillery guns for surgical, like targeting on enemy AA or something. But in 1v1, RT spamming isn't a thing. Like, off map spamming can be a thing. Redka over here getting a kill with the bazooka. Pressure on the north is high against Kama. Grayfox up to a 59. So, in a really good position, and Kama has to start doing something now. Battle Normal, thanks for the follow. Much appreciated. Guardia's in the north, moving in. Emcha killing off another half-track. The 2 Tigers, I think, are the saving grace for Kama, but he obviously has to be really careful. Try to kill the Emchas without exposing himself to the IS-2s. Which is possible, which is absolutely possible, but he has to be careful there. He has to micro well to achieve that. Tango and Nikki on the hunt for an easy flag over here. Oh no, it's going for the flag up here. That's a bit of a different story. I think it... Oh no, the Pak 40 is shooting on it now. So Tango and Nikki get killed in transport. And the pressure of this flag is lifted. But 59 is still enough for Grayfox to win before the superior sea phase income of Karma hits in. So Karma under pressure. Gets one Sherman over here though, but now the IS-2 is in front of the Sherman, and one Tiger has fallen as well. So overall the trades for Grayfox are still better in the north. And his IS-2 and MCHA hold the center pretty well. Pak 40 shouldn't engage onto the IS-2 and OB-25 combo, especially not with the Marder at least trying to get some side shots. I would understand sacrificing the Pak 40 for trying to get a couple of side shots onto the IS-2, but frontally it doesn't stand a chance against the IS-2 really. Focke-Wulf now coming in for Karma, one of his favorite units in the game, the Focke-Wulf A8. He really loves to strafe enemy ground targets like AT guns with it, because it's so hard to do something against it. Like fighter bombers or so, the enemy can still use AA to force them back easily, or just get their own fighter in. These fighters, they don't deal the most damage against the ground, but they deal enough damage over ground to pay off over time, while at the same time keep the enemy from buying bombers. And like, you need at least 2 fighters to deal with a Focke-Wulf A8 safely. Or a good AA piece and a fighter. And a good fighter that is to catch up. So, the A8 always one of Karma's most used tools. He brings it back to a 1311 as he puts the pressure now on the south. His Panther G here gets a kill on one Sherman. So, he stops to push into the forest over here. And really puts the pressure on now in the south. Panzerschrecks with SCKZs, really exactly what I talked about earlier. Like, he can't really win the north, and he will lose flags in the north. So he has to get flags in the south to keep it from 59. And the 1410 is fully enough for him. That gets him to minute 30 something. And with minute 30 something, he has enough time to get this game where he wants it to be. Loses the Marder up here. Good kill there by the Guardias. And the Panther G has to be absolutely careful in dealing with IS-2. So one penetration of the IS-2 onto the Panther G, and the Panther G is gone. Because the IS-2 deals 12 damage with its gun when it penetrates. IS-2 of Grayfox in the north is exposed to the Tiger. Stops now, but doesn't show frontal armor and gets side-shotted by the Tiger. Big mistake there by Grayfox. Losing his IS-2 like that. I'm not quite sure what the purpose behind all of this was. He's up to 59 once more, but this flag is close to falling. Lost the MCHA over here, so I don't think he will hold this flag for too long. ZSU M15 also exposed, but he gets the Panther at the same time. Gets the Guardia close enough for an AT grenade, so both sides losing their best tank on the battlefield to sloppy play. Karma gets the flag in the south. A lot of action everywhere, so obviously mistakes like that can happen when you have to micro all over the map. Still interesting to see both sides doing a mistake like that, like getting the Panther exposed to AT grenades, to infantry just rushing it down from multiple flanks, so that it can't shoot at all the infantry units at the same time. And losing an IS-2 to a side shot by a Tiger, because it was on move command and not attack command. Focke-Wulf gets out barely alive. 37mm falls to the Panzer 4H, who now also will engage onto the Guardia. Not hitting the first one, but it will have at least 1 or 2 more chances here of killing them. MCHA arriving, dealing with infantry as well. And it is only a 1311 now for Grayfox. 2 Marders and the Pak 40 over here are still a really big danger to the forces over here of Grayfox. First MCHA falls. Marder number 1 falls as well though. And the Tiger gets killed by the Rajvetka, though not before killing another MCHA of Grayfox. So no tanks for either side in the north. It's infantry on infantry action, and I think Grayfox could just push over the open, but he doesn't do so now because he's occupied elsewhere. He's occupied by trying to get the south back into his favor. MCHA engaging Pak 36s, but Pak 36s on this map are really strong. The heat shells deal 10 damage, so if they penetrate, they kill an Amcha instantly, and they have the penetration power obviously on doing so, and you get enemies into 800 meter ranges quite often, quite easily here. Didn't happen this time though, as the accuracy obviously is always a bit of an issue there. And Grayfox is trying to counterattack now after dealing with the offensive onto his flag, trying to get a 59 by capturing the flag in the south. Guardia DP now unloading next to the MG42. Should give him the 59 again. Yeah, he's back to 59. It will go into C-phase, but it will not go too deeply into C-phase if it stays at the 59. So Karma really has to do something about it. Guardia DP, get another flag here. 16-8 for Mr. Grayfox. Tocqueville 190 G8 coming in onto the Guardia DP in the north. At the moment, it looks like we will go to game number 3. It looks like we will go to game number 3. Tocqueville 190 G8. Hitting the Red Redga. This troop getting engaged as well. Guardia dying over here. $16-8 for Grayfox. Karma starting the counter-offensive in the south though. 13-11 once more. Still no tanks for either side in the north, but Grayfox is attacking here now. Is attacking the flag over here with Tanko Desanikis. Could get the flag over here then as well. Also puts pressure onto here, but the IS-2 falls. And this is massive. Pak-40 getting the kill onto the IS-2 with another side shot. I don't know why the side armor was exposed in that case. Was it because of the Panzer IV? Yeah, I think it was the Panzer IV Pak-40 double combo. The Tanko Desanikis come a second too late, so both IS-2s have fallen for Grayfox. And he might not have more in his deck because he played both in A phase, so that might be all the IS-2s for him in this game. 14-10 for Grayfox continues, but 14-10 gives 14 minutes, gives 9 minutes in C phase for Karma to bring it back to a 12-12. And he brings the Panther G onto the battlefield and puts a lot of pressure here onto the south. This is an intense and insane game. Like, this game is really giving us everything. M42 killing another Panzer IV. Oh my god. This might have been the savior of the game. This Pak-40 getting that side shot in was really, really good. M2A1 pushing forward. Yeah, Panther G has 2 MGs. The Panther D, the cheapest one of the Panthers, has only 1 MG. It also has a bit less frontal armor, but obviously is also quite a bit less expensive. So it's the better tank killer. It's a bit less effective in dealing with infantry, but yeah, for the cheaper price, the Panther D is pretty worthwhile. Anyways, Panther G is the biggest one of them all. Like, same armor and same normal shells as the Panther A, but it has the APCR shells, which allows it to go toe-on-toe with IS-2s on 1,500 meter range and below. 12-12 now for Karma, bringing it back to a tie, and this is really putting heavy pressure on Grayfox. He can't allow that for too long. He has to get it back to a 13-11. Gets it back to a 13-11 now. But we'll lose that in a second over here again, as the SDKFZ kills the halfback. And Karma slowly but surely gets the game back under his control, it looks like. Now, also with his air forces coming in, killing off the Guardia over here. Sherman's moving forward. Amchar in the south could allow Grayfox to capture a couple of flags here again, as the tank forces of Karma here die once more. 13-11 continues, but there's a Panther G now coming it up in the north. Radredka getting killed by the Focke-Wulf. So Panther G will be hard to kill. Panzer IV wins the duel against the Amcha. 13-11 continues. Oh my god, this is such an intense game. I absolutely enjoy it. And whoever wins it absolutely deserves the victory. Like, both are still in a really close spot here. It's still pretty tight. Obviously, Grayfox is the one taking, but... and could go up to 59 here in the south. Could still break the whole south maybe, but could also totally fall flat in the north right now because he's really overextending with his Tanko Desanikis and Oknomachiki in the open. I think he should have left them behind here instead of trying to go for this flag. Panther G now shows up, will easily deal with the Amcha, kills the Amcha. Ognomachiki and Tengoseki are out in the open. Sys 3 is not enough to deal with the Panther G, I think, in time. Gets one penetration in though, so the Panther G retreats. 13-11 continues. Panther G now putting pressure into the center though. This Amcha for sure doesn't win that duel. And is the push for Grayfox in the south too late? I mean, he still has his Guardia DP up here. He still should be easily able to take these two flags, as there's another Panzer IV and the second one coming in for Karma in the south. The Fokker Wolves taxing the forces of Grayfox. And another flag here falls to Karma, keeping it from him 14-10. And maybe keeping him from 59 in a second when Grayfox captures a flag over here. And Grayfox really badly needs a 59 to enter this game just in time before Karma gets too many units on the field in C-phase with his superior income there. Because 11 minutes, I don't think Grayfox will hold on for 11 minutes. I think he needs the flag and he needs it now. And he gets the kill down here. He should get the flag right now. He goes up to a 59, so that's only 5 minutes. Loses another flag in the north though. And this is so important. Sherman's coming in, but Panther G pushes here as well. Can he win the south again? Can he push in maybe over here? His Amcha got crew killed. This is really bad news. The second Amcha over here, together with Assist 3, should be able to deal with Panzer IV. Another IS-2. So there was another IS-2 left. And this might be Grayfox's last hope of ending this game in time. But he has to be careful with his Shermans in the north. You don't want to engage the Panther G like that. Oh no, he doesn't. I don't think he has his eyes on the northern flank right now. Loses one Amcha, will lose the second one most likely as well in the near future. Whilst the Fokker Wolf tries to get the strafe onto Sys 3 and it gets the strafe on the Sys 3. Panzer IV is down though. This Amcha could just move forward on fast move and capture the flag over here. And I think that's what it should do right now. Just trying to go for 59 for as long as possible because I don't think Grayfox can hold on for too long on his own. ZSU coming forward. Amcha retreats in the north, so second Amcha survives. IS-2 here in the north is the last hope of maybe trying to break through here, like reinforcing it with a couple of infantry units in the next tick, and then maybe trying to go on for the all-out push. Amcha in the south pushing forward, but there is a Panzer Grenadier with a Panzerfaust. It has to be careful. Same, also a Panzer IV coming up, so that's another issue. Who wins that fight? Usually the Amcha should win, as it will get the first shot in CQC combat. Because of the better aim time, gets the first shot, gets the first penetration. But the Panzer Grenadiers with Panzerfausts are moving forward, and they look deadly. Amcha is trying to retreat. Will it retreat in time? It looks like it. Oh no, they don't retreat further. Okay, now they retreat further. But it's a 14-10 for Karma as he totally runs over the center. And it looks like Karma turned this game around. It looks like Karma turned this game around and might win it after all. Panzer IV and Amcha get a mutual kill onto each other, which is good for Karma, who's now up to a 16-8 as he totally annihilated the center of Grayfox. Not having a single infantry unit over here costs him dearly. This looks like it is the end, and it looks like Karma will have another chance onto the title of Steel Division League, as he is on match points in this best of 3. Panzer Grenadiers over here engaging onto the Guardia. More Guardias moving forward. IS-2 moving in over here. 17-7 for Karma, and it looks nigh impossible here for Grayfox. He needs some really good kills in fast succession by these IS-2s to maybe turn this game around. Like, he needs to take out both Panther Gs and then move on with the Sherman in the north and like the small infantry reinforcements he can afford with his C-phase income to turn this game around, whilst not collapsing completely in the south and at the same time. And as soon as one of these IS-2s falls, it will become impossible, I think. He needs a 59, and for that he needs to flip the center. I think he understands this position well, but it will be a really tough job to achieve that right now for Grayfox. Really losing the two IS-2s, the one in the north to sloppy play, to a move order instead of an attack order, and the center one to really nice last second play there with the Pack 40 before the Pack 40 died to the tank of the Sanikis was what kept Karma alive in this game and got him to this position in the game where we are in C-phase, he has the superior income, and it looks like he will win this game against Grayfox. Wolf 190 G8s coming in on both sides, and yes, this air superiority is another factor that puts a really rough timer onto Grayfox, and it looks like Karma will get another flag in the south relatively soon. IS-2 gets bombed. And Karma doesn't even have to take the fight. Like, it's not like Grayfox is close to a 59 or anything, so he can, by this time, get more Panthers in and so on, so that he and wait till he can beat the IS-2s. Because Grayfox needs 4 more flags to be a real threat to this game once more, and achieving that is nearly impossible. With all the fighter bombers and the amount of income advantage that Karma has in C-phase, looks like Karma really did it. And this is an insane game. Like, he had such a difference to the Karma we saw in the group stage. That tied against JKV, that lost against Grayfox there in pretty dominant fashion there. Like, Grayfox won 2 clear victories in the group stage. But this Karma here is the Karma we all know and love from the super tournaments, from the games that he played in last season's playoffs. He's really in shape, and I think this time he, like, if it comes to a rematch of Gonzo versus Karma in the finals, it will be just as close as last season, which was the best finals we had in the league so far. With the big difference this season that we actually might see some access play in the finals as well. More than once. 13-11 here for Karma. And Grayfox surrenders the game and is out of this tournament. He will play in the game for 3rd place, but Karma is the one, the first finalist of Season 4, getting another shot onto the title of the last season. And at least getting 2nd place, at least, like, what's the prize money for that at the moment? So at least has $50 safe. At least $50 safe here for Karma. GGVP to both players in this game. Game 2 was an insane one. In the end, Karma also having the way better KD, because Grayfox obviously had to go all out there to try to get this game. And yeah, the Tigers here were really good. This Panzer IV did a lot of work in the north. Panther Gs did hold their position. Wolf obviously also did its part. Only any insane kills on the side of Grayfox. Tank of the Sanikis did really well in the forest and the north. Yeah, the forest fights for 5th Cavalry are hard with the infantry. The infantry disadvantage was for sure quite significant. But in the end, it wasn't enough. When with the 2 IS-2s falling there, the position for Grayfox was really, really tough. Too many MCHAs that got into bad fights. A couple too many sloppy mistakes there. But it, yeah, like really, in this intense game where there was fighting all over the map, nearly non-stop, it was still insane how good both players controlled their armies. And Grayfox, I think, will have a good shot in the game for third place as well. As I said, so Daniel, send it to me via Discord. Send me the replay that you want to see casted. What I will cast now is a game of Division 2, a playoff game there. And I think that will be the last cast of today. And that one will be Quadro U versus King of Wargame. See you there in 4 minutes. Yeah, but don't expect me to cast it in normal time speed. Like, I will fast forward through all the boring parts. And shit talk you a lot for sending it to me. But I guess that's what you expect if you want to send me that game. So let's get into Division 2, where we have UU versus King of Wargame in the quarterfinals, or like round of 6, with the winner playing against Jada Boy. The other quarterfinals already has been played. Thanks for the follow, Orman. Adler won that one against Jogu in really good fashion there. Like, Jogu didn't play poorly at all, but Adler played a really, really high level game. Jogu wasn't quite up to it there. And yeah, the winner of this one will play against one of the favorites here, of the game today. The winner will play against Jada Boy, which will be a tough game for no matter who advances today. But let's see who will get the shot on Jada Boy, UU, or King of Wargame in this quarterfinal game of Division 2. So we are on Hiroshima. We have an Axis, Allies versus Allies, Western versus Soviet, and on the left side, in blue, another 3rd Guards Mechanized against another Sherman division. This time, it's 3rd Guards Tank Corps, 3rd Armored, not 3rd Guards, but it's another 3rd. There's a lot of 3rds in this game. There's 3rd Fallschirmjäger, there's 3rd VDV, Like, that's for sure the most common number of all the division. And yeah, King of Wargame, I think third armored. And third armored I think has a good chance here. The Sherman 76s are pretty good against the Shermans. The Jumbo is really nice. Question is, can he keep up with the infantry that will get thrown at him by 3rd Guards Mechanized? That is really the big question in this one. Perry coming in. 1 guns coming in. Armored rifles and armored rifle bars. So yeah, the reason why I will not cast for too long today is that I will stream later on today again at 7 PM. Because I will play in a tournament myself. It will not be a Steel Division, it will not be cards, it will not be Spell Force. It will be in the virtual version of the sports I do. I'm playing Ultimate Frisbee, and there is a new game out there that is called Disc Space, where you control your own avatar and basically play Ultimate Frisbee online. And it's free to play, and there is a tournament going on tonight. And I will join with a couple of my real life friends with whom I also, from Hong Kong, with whom I also played Frisbee there. And we will play in that tournament, and I will stream that later on today. So that's why I will stop streaming after this series in King of Wargame on the right side in red, and Quadrille on the left side in blue. So if you're interested in Ultimate, or if you're interested in seeing me goofing around in a tournament myself, feel free to come back at 7 PM tonight for that one. Ognomachiki coming up. Wedge Redguard coming up in the north. SU-76 Averine coming up as well. And yeah, this is one of my favorite maps in the whole game. Together with Ocean North, I think those are the 2 favorite ones for me. It's a pretty mirrored map, and it has nice open terrain. It has a nice town fight where you also have multiple ways of approaching it, because you can fight CQC between those houses, but you also can use these more open spaces in the middle of each block. And then you have forest fights on the sides with hills. So it has basically all the different features of terrain that Steel Division has to offer in a well mixed up map, in my eyes. For every division, I think there is a good approach on this map. And I really like it. Like, Ocean North is a bit more CQC favored than this, I think. But both of these maps are the absolute top, as both of these are also, I think, pretty balanced when it comes to each side. M1 up here now. And here we go. SU-76 is pushing into the middle for Quadrille. Guardia's coming up as well. Armored rifle bars in the north. Will run into Ognomachikis. Will run into issues there. And the Jumbo coming up for King of Wargame. So Perry coming in as well. M8's getting killed. Ognomachiki coming in as well. M3A1 getting hit over here. Jumbo coming in over here. It's a 1311 for Quadrille. Off map coming in the north. Here, Wargame really trying to capture the north now. Rifle bars obviously struggle with the Ognomachiki. Wajvetka is dangerous as well with its bazooka. But Half-Tracks and Jumbo trying to deal with it. Half-Track goes down though. Jumbo now coming in, engaging the Ognomachiki. Should be able to kill one. Second one will surrender the armored rifles though. Whilst the M8 is taking off the Ognomachiki reinforcements. Will get the second one as well. Yes, it gets both. So good pressure there by King of Wargame in the north. But there's a lot of forces for Quadri in the center. And when you lose the town on this map, like, the balance is always of not investing too much in this town, because, yeah, like, winning the town is often really hard. But if you win the town, the game is usually over for your opponent. So, like, sometimes you just go all in for the town, but if then the enemy has enough forces to halt your attack, you trade really inefficiently there. But on the other hand, if you don't invest into the town and the enemy invests there, he absolutely crushes you, the game is over as well. Which I think is a really interesting balance on this map as well. Like, the mini game of, like, how much do you invest in the middle, how much do you invest into the flanks. Also a really interesting one. If you win both flanks, you can also afford to lose the town, but it's always... I would never advise to give up the town and, like, focus on both flanks from the get-go. Like, sometimes that's just how the game develops, and then you have to do it, basically, and go all in for the sides, for both flanks. And King of Wargame gets close to this position right now, because he's really, really heavily pressured in the center. And I think he has the forces on both sides to win them. But he doesn't start to try to approach the south just yet with it. And he only wins the north. Yeah, that's 3 nice flags. But the center is 4 flags. And it gives Quadri the chance to pressure both flanks from there. Like, a center of a map in every RTS always is better than the flanks, usually. Because you can hit in multiple directions. But from the flank, there's only 2 directions. Like, you can only go forward or to one side. From the center, you can go forward or to both sides. To either of the flanks. M8 gets killed. So yeah, that's the lesson since chess. That's why you never want to have your knights on the side of the board in chess. And yeah, RTS are obviously just a simultaneous form of chess, and way quicker, with way more variables, so lesson applies here as well. King of Wargame though has a lot of forces in the north, but yeah, Quadri pushes him hard in the center. Really, really hard. The pressure is up there. Armored rifles sitting in the building. More Valentines coming in. And it's a 13-11 here for Quadri. SU-76s now are pretty strong. And yeah, SU-76s and Valentines deal really well with Shermans. Because SU-76s now have 10 hit points as well. Jumbo now coming up in the center. I think that should have been... Like, I don't think he should have put a Jumbo in the north. I think he should have put the Jumbo into the center from the get-go. And put a normal Sherman in the north. Would have done nearly the same for the get-go. And would have kept him the center, I think, with the Jumbo there. So... I think that was one of the mistakes of King of Wargame in this game so far. He's still in it, as it's still a 12-12. But, yeah, as I said, losing the center is a rough spot to be in. As also trying to get back into a town is always harder than trying to get back into forests. And, yeah, if the enemy stops you from getting into this section of the town, it's usually over. Like, if you still can get in here, but if he's... can't shut down the road over here too easily. Or like you can at least reinforce over this road, like one of the roads is still open, it's still manageable to try to get back, but as soon as this road is basically cut, with him having AT guns in spots over here and like a lot of tanks over here or so, then the game usually becomes unwinnable. But King of Wargame holds on, and he has a lot of good armored forces here, so the armored forces of Quadri you have to be careful, and his infantry gets pounded on the edge of the town. Maybe should get back there, deeper into the town, fall back a bit. But in the north he gets the Sherman 76. Jumbo is still alive though. Jumbo is still alive and well. In the south, no action whatsoever. So it's all about the center. Can King of Wargame get some good straights here? Can he maybe overwhelm the armored forces? With 3 more Valentines showing up over here for Quadri, I don't know if he can. Like, that's 4 Valentines and 2 Shermans and 2 Su-76s. 8 tanks overall against the 5 tanks of King of Wargame. Obviously, he has a Sherman 76 and he has a Jumbo, so quality is on his side, but the quantity is on the side of Quadro-U, so let's see what side does win that. If the forces of Quadro-U engage piecemeal, then I think King of Wargame has a chance, but it looks like Quadro-U sets up an attack where he will hit these forces from multiple sides, while these are not spread out, so they don't hit back from multiple sides, so they only hit frontal armor, while these forces will hit side armor. And that is always a good way of getting a good tank engagement. Like, if you have even numbers, if you're the guy that hits enemy side armor, and the enemy doesn't hit any of your side armor, you usually win the engagement. Jumbo winning the Guardia, beating the Guardias over here. But, yeah. Can it kill all the Shermans over here? There's no infantry with AT too close to it yet. Partisanis shouldn't do too well. So the Jumbo, I think, could engage freely here. It shows side armor to this Amcha here, though. I think. More infantry coming up here for King of Wargame. Second Jumbo here, Sherman sits in an interesting spot. Another issue with Third Armored is that your Shermans are A1 versions versus A3 versions, or A2 versions. So yours have 10 less frontal armor. B26 coming in. Let's see what these 45 kilogram bombs can do. Maybe they can tilt it in favor of King of Wargame in the middle. I don't think they hit any meaningful units though. They only hit infantry. Kill a leader unit. But 1M10... No, the Sherman 76 already went down. Su-76 goes down as well. Valentine engages onto Jumbo. Another engagement that it shouldn't take. Jumbo, if it doesn't get side-shotted, will clean this town. But I'm pretty sure that Quadro-U should be capable of getting side shots here. Or no, the Jumbo already showing it right here, right now. Doesn't have any units, no recon units coming in with these forces, so they usually spot enemy tanks quite a bit later than the forces of Quadro-U. No M8s also here with the forces of King of Wargame. And Quadro-U focusing onto the Sherman instead of letting his tanks engage the Jumbo uselessly. Well, it's a lot of Valentines are dying, but the Jumbo is now left alone. The last living member of the push of King of Wargame. Can it still win it 1 versus 3? It has absolutely the potential to do so. German trying to come up, trying to get a side shot, and the loader is knocked out, which is annoying for King of Wargame. But there's multiple armored rifles coming up with bazookas to try to give protection to the Jumbo. Jumbo now bouncing once more. I think the Valentine should maybe go for the flank here. Jumbo gets the kill onto the Sherman, now will engage the Valentine. Driver knocked out. Oh no, it's engaging the Sherman, it's not engaging the Valentine. King of Wargame should focus the Valentine, because the Valentine will stress out the Jumbo over time with its high rate of fire. Sure, they don't do much damage with bouncing, and even the IL-4 bombs don't do too much, but over time they will do the job. But German will not get the penetration onto the MCHA too easily, and with the 3-star veterancy, the MCHA doesn't even really take too much stress damage. Now it gets penetrated, so that puts a bit of stress on it, but the Jumbo will now be forced to fall back, and is vulnerable in that position. Now, another IL-4 coming in. Oh no, that's still the same IL-4, I think. And another Jumbo coming in for King of Wargame to pressure the center. Lost his Jumbo in the north by now, though. Maybe to Guardias or something. Or MCHA's flanking it. But really, the Jumbos are the key factor here for King of Wargame in this game. Jumbo in the center is still a beast, though, for King of Wargame. And the second Jumbo coming in together with an A3 version. So now the frontal armor is even between the MCHAs and the basic Shermans on the side of King of Wargame. And then Tank Destroyer. And normal Sherman engaging one MCHA on the side of King of Wargame. But SU-76s show up in the south, so the M10 goes down, and the Sherman will most likely lose this battle as well due to lesser veterancy, and it goes down. Armored rifles will get a Molotov in their face, so they can't get their bazooka shot off. They try to go forward, and that's a mistake as well. Yeah, they get surrendered here, and the northern flank falls apart for King of Wargame. 59 for Quadro U. And the position is really, really rough here for King of Wargame. More SU-76s and Valentines showing up here everywhere for Quadro U. Valentine gets killed off. I'm just coming in. $59 for Quadro U in this first quarterfinal game. It's a really rough spot here for King of Wargame. You can't really go through these roads. Like an anti-tank gun over here, or like an SU-76 over here messes you up. Over here, all the anti-tank guns can, if there are some, can mess you up. The SU-76s obviously can do it. So it's a really, really rough spot for third US. And really trying to get back into this town with inferior infantry as well, you have to take that into account, is rather rough. You need to win the tank fights. And with 2 jumbos you can do. I don't know why the second jumbo isn't moving forward again. King of Wargame there sloppy at his micro. As he is a bit of on the timer right now, only 10 minutes remaining. His infantry gets crushed in the open, and that's always one of the tough things of getting back into the town over here. This open field, trying to cross that, is never easy. Jumbo still staying strong. Will continue engaging his MCHA instead of the Valentines and SU-76s though. Target firing on the side of Quadro U, no target firing off the side of King of Wargame. P-51 coming in, not doing too much either. And the northern situation becomes really rough now for King of Wargame as well. Valentines are murderers when it comes to dealing with normal Shermans, so really only the jumbos stand out on the side of King of Wargame, and with the focus fire that Quadro U does, it's so that his tanks don't engage the Shermans, the jumbos first, but kill off the Shermans and then deal with the jumbos later. He does really well. Knight now trying to flank the jumbo over here after the Valentine and the SU-76 goes down though. But another jumbo shows up and Sherman shows up, and now this jumbo should retreat. As it is getting side-shotted, it should retreat a bit further back, up to where the other jumbo is. Team up with it, but it gets killed. King of Wargame really not having the best micro here in the center, and it's a 14-10 for Quadro U. SU-76 showing up in the north. Wait, streaming quality should be at 180. Why is it not at 180? It usually is on 1080, I mean, not 180. Yeah, why is it not on 1080p? I have no clue. This stream should be on 1080p. Test this on 999. It should be on 1080p. Second jumbo goes down as well. German pushing on over here. Yeah, I don't know. I had that issue as well with another stream lately. I have no clue why. Like my settings in Streamlabs say 1080p. Wow, good. Like 3 coming up. One gun engaging onto the MCHA. This is awkward. I don't know. It's not like my PC is too bad for it or anything. Yeah. 59. What, like 720p? Yeah, like, I mean, it's not unbearable, but one gun engaging onto the MCHA. I think 720p is manageable, but yeah, it's a bit of a shame. I don't know why. 59. I'm just moving forward. Yeah, the 59 looks like it will stay for the rest of the game, or get even worse, because Quadro is pushing in the north. They're coming up. Sorry, guys. So now I'm a bit into Streamlabs, checking Streamlabs, as this game is on its last leg. 18.6 here for Quadro, and yeah. No, why is it on 720p? That's a bit frustrating. I had that with one of the cast side lately as well. Yeah, where it was like showing up in 720p. Maybe it's Twitch getting over. Like maybe Twitch is putting me down by default. Maybe like sometimes you also can't choose between. Can you choose between different options, or is it only one option? Because that's it's also a thing sometimes that it puts you on to one option only. When it's like when their servers are overused. Like maybe it's Twitch. Maybe it isn't me. But I will double check after the stream. Maybe my setting somehow changed. E51. Yeah, it would be funny if all the Cyberpunk streams of the non-partners, like of all the affiliates, are also down to 720p, and that like amazingly looking game only comes over like that. You obviously also play because it looks so great. Like I got it myself, playing it like that game looks amazing, and it's also a really good game. It's not not living up to the hype it has, but it's still pretty good. This game also didn't live up to the hype. Yeah, Quadro winning in a clean fashion. And now I have a really bad news about this game, because this is the only game we will get in this series. Because Kinect Wargame, conceded the second game, which I think is pretty shitty. Not playing a full series when you go to the playoffs, when you earn the best of 3, conceding after one game, I think is pretty bad sportsmanship. And I'm still thinking about what to do about it. At the point where I'm at right now is that I will put him on a lower, like for next season, on lower priority. So if the league is full without him, then the league is full without him. Because yeah, getting to the playoffs, playing one game and then after losing that, conceding the whole series, I think it's not that good. But yeah, Quadro is moving on. He won this game fairly. I think he was the better player as well, so his chances would have been to win game number 2 as well. But I'm pretty disappointed there with King of Wargame surrendering game number 2 without fighting. So yeah, that is this in this regard. Yeah, conceding in playoffs I think is a really shitty move, and I think it needs punishment, and I'm thinking about what to do about it right now. But yeah, I think still Quadro absolutely deserves to be in the semifinals, and Jadaboy versus Quadro will be an amazing series, as will be Adler versus Eugen. Like all of these 4 guys have it in it to get the title, with Jadaboy and Eugen being the favorites, but really Quadro and Adler being close on their heels. So this should be a really nice round of 4 and finals for Division 2. And I'm really looking forward to that. So yeah, with that said, guys, this was it for now, for today. As yeah, I will double check now what yeah, maybe you can go with me through the settings and maybe you see something, but like if we go for output, I don't see anything here. I think in stream is maybe where it is, so that's why you can't see that when you're live. But when we go to video, like the output resolutions are Wait, why is the output resolutions? Okay, so the output resolutions are scaled down, yeah. I don't know why. Yeah, okay, so it is in my settings. And I have no clue why it did that. I will change that now, guys. Yeah, that's the reason why. Okay. Okay. So yeah, I found the issue, and I will put it up to 1080p for next stream. So yeah, see you later today, guys. If you want to be around for some disc space and seeing me play in that tournament. And yeah, see you guys tomorrow. And have a nice day. Have a nice evening. I will now host someone. And yeah, would love to see you guys all around later today for some more disc space. Let's see, is anyone streaming Steel Division? No. So then I will host Benjamin Magnus, who is playing Satisfactory. That's the only channel right now streaming out of all the channels I see live. Like I'm following with this, so yeah, Benjamin Magnus it is. Have fun over at his channel with some Satisfactory. See you guys next time, and have a good day. Will not stream tomorrow, guys. No Sunday stream tomorrow. So yeah, most likely we'll stream at Monday though. Hopefully with some more playoff games played till then. And then yeah, a lot of streams next week before I go into the winter holidays. Have a nice day, and yeah, 7 PM this space.